Hi everyone, and I'm here with Alex Billingham. I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Alex Willingham. I'm genderqueer artist from the West Midlands. I mainly do live art, although I've recently started going into film, and a lot of it deals with my own uh, body dysmorphia and how I relate to various topics.
Awesome. Um, could you tell us about your background as a queer artist?
Yeah, um, I studied in Carlisle about 10 years ago, and then came back to the Midlands, and it took quite a while to kind of get back into making art again. Um, During that time, I was also coming to terms with kind of who I was and what my gender and sexual identity were, and because I come from a very, very strict Christian background, so it was quite awkward. And it's been lovely to hear words like genderqueer sort of coming up. So it's because there was always kind of, oh, you're trans or you're transvestite, and it was never quite right, and it didn't really fit who I was, because I've got some masc tendencies, a lot of femme tendencies, and I came to it all kind of from Riot Girl, so tomboy's possibly where I fit, maybe. I don't know.
Hmm, that's interesting. And how has your queer art evolved through like your processes?
Massively over the past few years. There's, I think, a lot more confidence in it. I'm naturally quite a shy person, so I'll keep to myself. But especially with going into live art, that's been a lot more open. I try and make everything friendly and accessible. So one of the performances I did was to be sort of dressed up as me and create an environment within a larger live art festival, so that people could come and talk through being queer and gender things, and just so it was a sort of extra safe space inside this festival. And I like those conversations that come out of things.
Yeah, that sounds really great. Um, how was the process taking live art digital? Yeah,
So,
like how was it making like digital live art?
kind of really, really easy and natural, and really hard and weird at the same time. Because I've done some video stuff, and I've spent the past year sort of making my first film, so learning how to do editing. But this is the first time I've done a performance specifically for the screen. Um, so it's very different to the film work that I've been doing, but building off that, but still definitely a performance, but within the constructs of film. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's an answer.
So for context, can you tell us a little bit more about the film work that you've previously done?
Yeah, I about 3-4 years ago I joined Black Hole Club, not which is Vivid Projects Artist Development, not knowing what a HDMI cable was, not knowing anything. A complete kind of, I can't do that, and that gave me the confidence to at least try. That kind of developed into taking videos of the work I was doing and of the performances, and then turning that into video work, just slightly different from documentation. And that's kind of led more and more into trying more things and learning more about the filmmaking process. And I've spent most of lockdown watching every YouTube tutorial on how to do lighting, how to do this, how to build this, what kind of rig you need for this. You don't actually need a camera like that. So yeah, I've probably seen them all now, which is terrifying. So it's been useful for that, you know. Some things good came out of it.
And what would you say is next for you as a queer artist?
Well, before COVID, I was touring my first sort of theatrical show that I made to theatre. So once COVID's done, which we all hope, that's going to start touring in Liverpool again. But we'll see when that is. As I say, I've just finished my first feature film. I very much want to start my next feature film, because I've really fallen in love with the filming process, but also with the editing, and it's been lovely to kind of properly play with it and have fun with it and try new things. So I'm going into that. I'm just coming off curating a live art online program, which I think finishes just before Shout starts. So that dovetails nicely. So to be honest, a break at this point would be quite nice.
And how can our audience reach out to you? How can they ask you questions if they've got any, or like pick your brains about what gender expression through art means and how to procure it and how to develop it?
Yep. Best way is have a look at my website first of all, just to see sort of what I do, which is alexbillingham.co.uk. But feel free to message me on Facebook or Instagram, which should be sort of, you can find it via the Shout advertising or my website. If you want to see some of my other videos, I've got a Vimeo channel which is linked to in my website. They're not as developed as this. This is kind of a step up. But yeah, feel free to just send me an Instagram message or whatever, and have a natter. Don't be afraid to ask. I'm always happy to have a natter.
Perfect. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. And enjoy the rest of the program, everyone else. And we'll see you soon.